What's up, guys? I'm gonna come on here and do my Ultimate Fighter 8 finale predictions. It's gonna happen on Saturday. I didn't completely forget about it, but when I was doing my video for the Ultimate Fight Night 16, I thought UFC 92 was next. You know, I haven't really been paying that much attention to this Ultimate Fighter season, because it basically was the Junie Browning show, but, you know, I'll come on here and do it anyways. You know, as per usual, most of the fights on here are going to be, you know, Ultimate, you know, the Ultimate Fighter, not finalists, but, you know, competitors on the show. You know, you could throw a dice. You know, John Palkowski's going to lose to Ronaldo. Shane Nelson against George Roop. Shane Nelson, probably submission. Kyle Kingsbury, Tom Lawler. Flip a coin. You'll get that one. Jules against Elliot Marshall. Elliot Marshall, sub, if not sub of the night. He's going to sub him, you know, first or second round. Shane Prim against Christoph. Christoph, probably TKO in the second round. So on to the main card. Junie Browning works his way in the main card by being the biggest draw on the show for being bipolar. Actually, you know what? I don't think he's bipolar. You know, I just think he's exactly what Dana White said. You know, he was a fighter from a smaller fight camp, coming on, didn't know the competition outside of the state in which he came from, and you know, he was really awakened by the talent level that it takes to get into the UFC. And actually, fighters on, you know, the Ultimate Fighter, they're not even close to what it takes to compete in, you know, the upper echelon of the UFC. Ask Forrest Griffin or Rashad Evans about that. You know, it takes, you know, to be the winner and, you know, train hard at good camps for, you know, a couple of years before you can even think about, you know, competing with the upper tier of UFC fighters at any weight class, actually. But, you know, Junie Browning now fighting at Extreme Couture, which was a really good move. That's one of the better fight camps, you know, in MMA, against Dave Kaplan, who, here, the quotes, it cannot be knocked out. You know, he asks a 205-pounder to punch him in the face while he's drunk, because he cannot be knocked out. And as soon as he takes said punch to the face, and gets knocked out, he declares after waking up that he wasn't really knocked out. You know, he can take shots to the face, full flush. Nobody can take punches straight to their jaw by guys 50 pounds heavier than them and not get knocked out. He was not knocked out, though. Alright, well, whatever. Junie Browning by TKO in the second round. Kevin Burns against Anthony Johnson. Rematch. Pretty close fight the first time. I can't believe that it was called the way it was after Anthony Johnson repeatedly, you know, poked in the eye on that. And Kevin Burns' defense was, well, he's had a series of hand injuries, so it's okay for him to open his hand as he's throwing his jab. Oh, yeah. Alright, well, that's still bullshit. You can't do that. Alright? Fucking close your hand or don't fight. You know? You can't poke somebody repeatedly in the eye and then say you won by TKO. I don't even like Anthony Johnson that much, but that was just a terrible decision by the referee. I mean, I know he couldn't tell that after the final poke that Anthony Johnson was writhing on the ground in pain because he got poked in the eye, which required surgery. Anyways, I expect Anthony Johnson to take this fight by, if not like a later round TKO decision against the underrated / overrated Kevin Burns. Wilson Gouveia, Jason McDonald. I have a lot to say about Wilson Gouveia. You know, his trainers say he's the most talented guy at American Top Team in training. But when it comes to the fights, he doesn't perform up to, you know, and that's said about a lot of guys, including Joe Riggs, one of the most notable fighters who happens to be an absolute beast in training, according to everybody. But once it comes down to fighting, so anyways, Wilson Gouveia, I like as a fighter. He's got really good striking. BJJ black belt. Last fight took an absolute beating. His first fight at 185, which was a great move for him, actually, coming down from 205. But took a beating nonetheless and still subbed the guy. Against Jason McDonald, he's not going to be able to do that. Jason McDonald held his own against Damian Maia in the last fight. It took Maia a long time to sub McDonald. And McDonald played the game I didn't think he should against Maia. Just let him take it to the ground and play the jiu-jitsu game. And Maia being an 80cc... Wait, that's too many C's. 80cc. Not a fighter. You know, I didn't think that was the correct game plan, but I'm not a trainer. So, you know, McDonald really impressed me. His hands are not really that great. I see Gouveia, if his ATT trainers have any sense, they'd tell him to keep it on the feet, have him sprawl and brawl. You know, a lot of people like McDonald as a contender for the belt, but Gouveia probably TKO third or unanimous decision. Picking it. Ryan Bader, Vinius Gismelga. Yeah, Vinny is his jiu-jitsu was insane. I even saw his BJJ match against Elliot Marshall. It's pretty much a draw. You know, Bader fought Marshall, took it to the ground. Marshall couldn't do anything. Vinny training at Extreme Couture, just like Junie. I'm sure his wrestling is improved and his stand-up is improved because his stand-up was freaking terrible on the show. Even though Jules gave him way too much credit and just took, you know, kicks everywhere. Bader's stand-up, not that good either. It could go one of two ways. Bader not taking it to the ground, trying to keep it standing. Vinny's stand-up still being terrible. Bader winning a decision. Or him taking it to the ground, Vinny subbing him. I'm going to go with the latter of that. Vinny subbing him, probably we'll go third round sub. Vinny's way too good on the ground, and it's going to hit the ground eventually. Quickly. Efren Escudero, Philip Nover. Escudero is pretty much the same fighter as Nover, except for less. What I see is Philip Nover overrated? Yes. Dana White overrates him incredibly. Nover's still better than Escudero. Nover TKO second round. Be back on here to do my UFC 92 predictions. And with that, you guys, stay metal.